Welcome to Deep Thought. Your future will change. You know what? I'll say it. Let me just keep on the theme of what I was talking about. Realizing a lifelong truth and adjusting to a reality. The thing is, you're going on a different path now. Once you let go of the false beliefs or whatever was keeping you off the true path, your true incarnation objective, the true reason, your true destiny, you actually change your future. Now, what's interesting, because you have some people in some traditions, they'll, particularly New Age traditions, but also maybe in some African traditional religion traditions or, any psychic tradition where you go to somebody and they do a reading on you. And they'll say, well, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Even astrology or something, right? This is going to happen. But the thing is, you really can't see the future. Any of those systems do is give you a likelihood. They'll read whatever you got in your system and give you a likelihood. An example of that would be like if a really good car mechanic looks at your car. They can tell what's going to happen. They're going to say, hey, you're in danger of having the car stall out in this amount of time, or this'll happen. Because they not reading they don't know what's going to happen or when it's going to happen. They can't give a day or anything like that. And you'll find anyone who engages in, readings from New Age folks or, people into the esoterics or whatever, they'll find that the people cannot give them exact dates, but they can just give them a general idea what could happen, and they just reading what's happening there. So understand something: the future is never set. The future is never set. It's based on whatever you have going on now. Like, I can know what my future is immediately because I'm on a certain path. And I've shown to be good on that path. So I have a general idea already. What's it going to be a while from now? Now, of course, there can always be wild cards in there, but it's all based on what I know now. Now, if you have a false belief or you're not following the truth, that's what your future is going to be. If you keep staying on that false belief, or you keep following that lie that you've been following, or however you want to term it, that's what your future is going to be. If the way you are now attracts a certain person, or the way you are now doesn't give you money, but you stay on that path, that's going to be your future. But when you change, your future will change. And you have total control over it. Let me say that again. You have total control. Yeah, I know stuff can happen and it can be accidents and all of that, but you can set the tone for the future. That's what you have control over. If you feel like your future is creating music, you feel a calling for it. This is what you want to do. That's what's going to happen. Now, if you have, in the present, you've already created music and you found a way to get it to sell, you creating something which can actually bring that about. You're taking that path because the future is a path. There's millions of paths in the future. You're taking that path. You're consciously taking that path. You consciously adopting that lifestyle. I know at the age of 65, I'm 54 now. At the age of 65, I'll be lifting. Because I consciously said, I'm going to do this. I've consciously said that. I know I'll be doing something, writing or something, because years ago I consciously said, this is what I want to do. I know I want to have, when I quote unquote retire, I want to have a bookstore where I just sell books, dispense knowledge. Because I've been thinking about that for years. Because that's what I want to do. I just want to be someplace and chill out. Get in some neighborhood, Get them some neighborhood, get some people. They can come there for something, read something, whatever, and just chill out. But that's because I'm on that path. That's why I like that truth. And your future. See, once you realize, your lifelong truth, right? Once you adjust to the reality, then your future will change. Your path will change. Everything will change. Like I give you an example. I'm gonna go deep because, like I said, I'm familiar with some people who do readings. Now, I remember I gave a woman who's very good at readings. I gave her a scenario to look forward into the future, and she gave me a certain thing. But then I say maybe about 2 years later, I asked her the same question, and she said it was something different. Now, somebody will say, well, how could that be? It should be the same thing. It was like, no, because when she told me the first time, I started making actions and taking actions to not bring that about. In fact, that's part of the reason why I even do like a lot of these podcasts and everything. So the same general thing was happening because it was some things that's beyond anything I could change. And it'd take a global thing to change it. But then there was some smaller things because of what I'm doing that it was like, oh, okay, it's slightly different. So you have control over that. So if, like, say, for example, you're a person and you having some health issues, but you're not doing anything about it. You just keep on going and everything. Like health issues that could be addressed by changing your diet, maybe exercising a bit more. But you haven't done anything to change it. Maybe you take some pills or something just to keep you walking. But you decide, hey, wait a minute. I'm gonna change how I exercise. I'm gonna change my basic living habits. I'm gonna change how I eat. Then your future will change the response for that. And so instead of taking that future where you might not make it, or that you have $2,000 worth of pills, and I talked about that on a podcast. I heard about this gentleman who was spending about $2,700 a month just on medicines. And what he did, he just changed up his eating, just eating vegan, like some healthy vegan food, and he was able to change that. And that can be anybody. You can change it. Once you adopt that new reality, then your future is going to change. Your outcome is going to change. And that's one thing I do. I'm in the present. I always stay in it, and I've talked about that before. But I also think, okay, what can my action lead to? What can I lead to? What will be the response for this? And then as best as possible kind of control it. Now, like I said, there's always some wild cards, some stuff beyond your control. But what you can do is always control your response. And that's ultimately what you got. How you going to react to stuff. You might decide, you might have had a past of always feeling downtrodden, defeated, depressed when something bad happens. So you might say to yourself, hey, you know what? No matter what happens, I'm going to just look for the positive in it and look for the positive way of getting out of it. Powerful. So now that could gradually change. That will gradually change your future. That can, but will gradually change it, because then you get used to always responding to something in a certain way, positive way. Or here's an example. This is something I used in my life. When something crazy happens, I don't panic right away. I stay real calm until I can see everything with it. And that's something I trained myself to do, to stay calm no matter what happened first. To stay calm, no matter, it could be a fire, it could be a car crash, a car stopping, it could be somebody saying something crazy. I trained myself to stay calm first, and then I was able to respond positively or in a way that benefited myself. But I had to train myself. I didn't do that at first. People don't realize I used to have a very hot temper and be ready to go to war right away. But I said, no, I'm going to stay calm first. And even in times where it seemed like I'm responding with anger or anything else, I'm really not. I had time and time enough to consciously think, oh, okay, I need to respond to this. Let me put on my mean face. But once you change, once you realize some truths, once you adjust to some realities, your very future will change. So anyway, that's all I have for today. I'll talk to y'all later. Peace and many blessings.